I don't think of my life as necessarily the choices I'm making now may impact my future in such a hard way, or the choices my husband was making would impact his life in a way that would eventually, tear our family apart. My husband was the boy next door. That's how I met him. I was looking for a place to live, and there was an apartment that opened up next door to where he lived. It was just love at first sight for me. It really was. He was a cutie. I called him to just get a Frosty one day, and so he came, and we walked to Wendy's and got a Frosty. Then that was it, We dated for 2 years before we were married, so we knew each other well. I think you can get to know someone in that period of time. As our kids got older, problems became a little more difficult to solve. It wasn't just change their diaper and, it was just a little more difficult to come up with creative solutions for raising your kids. And I think financially we started to get into debt, that you get into the middle of the dailiness of life, and I think you can take each other for granted, or we probably did that. I think we started to drift from each other at that point, it's hard. It was just hard. He chose to deal with the pressures that he was under in ways I think were less constructive. He turned to the internet, turned to Facebook, turned to video games. He was just plugged in all the time. And that's, I think, in the last year and a half, 2 years of our marriage, he was really disconnected from us. Really, his behavior towards me had changed a lot, and I knew something was terribly wrong. And then he let it out, slowly in bits, but told me yeah. For over a year, they'd been communicating and had been together, and, I'm not a big Facebook fan. Just, it allowed an affair to go on in my bedroom without me knowing it. I begged, I pleaded over the course of several weeks, several months even. I wanted us to go through counseling, and I would say anything to try to keep my marriage. I still, to this day, I do not want a divorce. I don't want a divorce. I don't want that. He said, when we married, I really thought this would be forever. And I thought, you were it, but I think that I have found my dream girl. He actually used those words. He said, I think I finally found my dream girl. I can't think of anything more hurtful after knowing someone so well that, okay, but I didn't know you were still looking for your dream girl, It's a midlife crisis that's been handled in a way that's completely, it's like solving your problems by putting a nuclear bomb in your basement. He totally blew up the foundation of our family in order to make himself happy. He wanted to be happy. He wanted to fill his cup, and at the expense of us, I think. I think that's what's the kicker for me, is that, I'll never have that opportunity to be a better wife, or I'll never have that opportunity to be a better friend to him, because he's just made this decision, and that's that. I don't know what the future holds besides just keeping my family together and protecting them from as much of the fallout as possible. That's my job right now. Well, God protects me.